A permanent device is required. Only the eminent souls and enlightened persons can have these forms in their vision. But for a common man to worship, a permanent device is required, for which Lord Shiva himself has assumed a form called Linga form. It is called Rupa Arupa, both form and formless. It is a form not like a man or animal. It is a Linga form. It is the only form of its own kind. No other form can replace it. And it is formless, because what kind of form we cannot explain this. Therefore, it is a healthy combination of both form and formless.
So, if that is the nature of God in Saiva Siddhanta, then what is the nature of soul?
Even before that, I will explain the philosophical implication of Nataraja form. In the Nataraja form, in one hand Lord Shiva has the drum. The drum symbolizes the nada or sound through which creation is being done. And in one hand he shows Abhayahasta, that means preservation. Whatever is created is to be preserved. In the left hand he has one fiery pot which symbolizes destruction. In the suppressed right leg there is a demon. It symbolizes the Tirodhana Shakti, or the power of concealment, where so many things are concealed from our knowledge because of our egoism. Then in the lifted left leg, grace comes out. Therefore, the whole of Nataraja form is full of philosophical implications and symbolism.
Okay.
So out of grace he creates, out of grace he preserves, out of grace he destroys, out of grace he conceals, out of grace he bestows his grace.
Okay.
This is how we have to understand. In the Sivalinga form, we have the both combination of both male and female aspects. The female aspect is conceived as Shakti, the mother goddess. So in Saivism or Saiva Siddhanta philosophy, both Shiva and Shakti are not two separate entities, they are one. Shiva is the passive principle and Shakti is the active principle. Both in their happy union create this world. That is the idea. Regarding the nature of the soul in itself is pure. It is like a diamond dropped in an ink bottle. It will assume the color of the ink in which it is dropped in. Like the rain water which is pure, it assumes the color of the soil in which it is poured down. Okay. Like that, the soul's nature is, with whom it comes across, it will assume that person's or that thing's qualities and capacities. So it has no originality of its own. But through its Chit Shakti or potential power, it is able to know the outside world through the help of the mind and the sense organs, but it cannot know itself. Therefore, it requires Shiva's grace. So, Shiva's grace is already there in everybody's soul. Therefore, Ishvara Chit Shakti is to be kindled, is to be promoted. So, through Ishvara Chit Shakti or the potential power of Lord Shiva embedded in every soul, the soul is able to know itself and God within itself. So, this is how Saiva Siddhanta explains the nature of the soul. Apart from that, the soul is of Sat and Asat. It is a combination of both Sat and Asat. This is not contradiction, but complementary, in the sense that whenever it is in the company of Sat or people with good qualities, it will assume their qualities. Whenever it is in the company of Asat or bad qualities, it will assume that particular qualities. Therefore, ultimately the soul is expected to obtain Sivasat. That means the potential power of Shiva is to be obtained by the soul. Otherwise, the soul will be in eternal damnation or condemnation, that it will be suffering. So, suffering is the common nature of the soul, because it has been eternally bound by the impurities. These impurities catch hold of the soul, and through ego, whenever the ego comes, then self-assertion and self-possession takes place. It asserts, I am everything, but for me nothing will move in this world. Then it tries to possess everything which it comes across.
If so, then what is the means of liberation in Saiva Siddhanta?
In that case, the first and foremost thing that is expected of a true Saivite is, through the constant prayer, consistent worship and the systematic understanding of Saiva faith, the soul has to remove ego.
Okay.
The first requirement is I, not I, but Shiva in me. Everything is taking place through Shiva. Then in that case the problem of evil is also resolved. So even if evil comes to us, it is Shiva's grace who is causing me, who is testing me, so that I will be purified. Then once evil or suffering is removed through ego, then all actions will be selfless actions or God oriented actions. That means fellow feeling will come. I must work not for myself alone, I must work for everybody else. So service is the true motto of a true genuine Saiva saint or devotee. So he must serve his men. Service to mankind is service to Shiva. That is the slogan made by the Saiva saints. Then Maya or the material products will not be affecting the soul. That means the eyes will be opened but will be blind to the objects. Once these three impurities are annihilated, then the soul is purified and it will enjoy the perennial bliss of God abundantly and permanently and enjoy the company of Lord Shiva. And another thing in Saiva Siddhanta is Shiva's temple and Shiva's devotees are to be equally venerated. They are the manifestations of God. One is the static shrine, another is the mobile shrine. This is how Saiva Siddhanta explains.
So do you find some kind of a similarity between Saiva Siddhanta and any other religion, particularly in the Indian context?
In the Indian context, there are similarities between Saivism and Vaishnavism. All the three realities are approved in Vaishnavism also as Brahman, Chit and Achit.
Can you explain that?
In Vishishtadvaita philosophy expounded by Ramanuja, it is based on Vaishnavism, Vaishnava religion of the Alvar saints and the Puranas and Idigasas of the Sanskrit source and the three important works of the Vedanta schools, namely Brahma Sutra, Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita. So Ramanuja wanted to reconcile between absolutism and theism. So he wanted to reject the absolutism of Shankara and introduce a new kind of theism, for which he has taken the clue from the life portrayal and experiences and revelations of the Alvar saints. Therefore he introduced God as Vishnu Narayana, that is the Saguna Brahman. Nirguna Brahman he removes. Then Maya also he removes as inexplicable thing. So he takes the soul and the world as dependent realities of God, not independent realities. The Chit or consciousness and Achit the matter are like the equivalent realities like God.
See, you spoke about Saiva Siddhanta and you also spoke about various texts, scriptures and writings. Now, are they available in English or in other languages, or is it limited to a particular part of the country?
Majority of the texts are available in Tamil. Nowadays an awareness have come to our people to spread this information and messages to all the people in the world. Large number of non-Tamil knowing people are living in the different parts of the world. Therefore, they must be benefited. Therefore, large number of books are being translated, and even through the magazines and the journals they are being translated and sent to various foreign countries for studies and research work.
Does this mean that this Saiva Siddhanta originated in some part of Tamil Nadu?
We cannot exactly locate where it has been originated. So only the scriptures are available. So we cannot locate where exactly it was started and who started all these things. We do not know. Sir.
And what could be the kind of the year in which the period in which these texts might have been developed?
Actually, the available texts have been started from 3rd century onwards.
3rd century
onwards. Okay. Up to 9th century we have the devotional literature. Afterwards, from 12th century onwards, the philosophical treatises have been emanated.
And when you are actually the chief editor of Saiva Siddhanta journal in English, and who are the kind of people, the experts who are writing, contributing to this journal?
There are scholars. Sometimes if you do not get good articles, we collect the articles already available written by eminent scholars like Professor Deva Senapati, who is an authority on Saiva Siddhanta, and sometimes some scholars from foreign countries they also send articles, and sometimes if space is available I myself contribute, I write articles.
And is there any formal program of study in any university set up in the higher education system where one is able to join for a formal program of study on Saiva Siddhanta?
In Madurai Kamaraj University and Madras University, there is separate departments of Saiva Siddhanta. All the devotional literature and the philosophical treatises are taught there in comparison with Indian philosophical schools. And in the Department of Philosophy, we have a separate paper on schools of Saivism. This is how philosophy, Saiva Siddhanta is taught in.
And one last question to our students, who are pursuing with this particular topic. Can you suggest some books, some journals which are commonly available in India?
Saiva Siddhanta by Professor Deva Senapati in English, and then lot of Tamil books are also there. And I have also written 2 or 3 books in Saiva Siddhanta. Religion and Mysticism according to the Periya Puranam is my PhD thesis. It is published by Madras University. And I have written a book on essentials of Saivism, and it was published under the auspices of the Federation of London Temples of Saivism. It is available in Chennai also, and a lot of journals are also available. Saiva Siddhanta journals is being published from long back, therefore, a lot of articles are also available in that particular.
Professor Gopalakrishna, it was a very good informative discussion that we had about Saiva and Saiva Siddhanta. I am sure the students of philosophy who are pursuing their B and MA program in Indira Gandhi National Open University will definitely benefit a lot from this particular discussion, and I am sure this will also generate a lot of interest and debate among the students about this particular religion which you are talking about, that this religion is being practiced across the globe. Thank you so much for coming to Indira Gandhi National Open University and being part of this discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much.